Danganronpa 2 Goodbye Despair is the 2014 sequel to Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. It was released for PlayStation, PC, and mobile devices. It was later paired with the first game in Danganronpa 1.2. Goodbye Despair is set up very similarly to Trigger Happy Havoc. You play as a regular student who is accepted into Hope's Peak Academy and blacks out then wakes up inside of the school. The setting for this one is different, however. Instead of being inside the school, you are taken to a vacation island called Jabberwock Island with your class and your teacher Usami. Usami is a robot rabbit similar to Monokuma, except she's not hostile. She tells you that you're going to stay on the island for a field trip and you must form bonds with your classmates while you're there. Her plans get foiled when Monokuma shows up and takes over, changing Usami into Monami, a basically female copy of him. He sets up the same rules as before. You can leave the island by killing someone and not getting found out. Once 3 or more people have found a dead body, an investigation will commence, followed by a class trial. If the killer is successful in not being found out, they get to leave and the rest of the class is executed. If the class figures out who the killer is, that person gets executed. The premise is similar, but it plays very differently. Instead of a constant first-person view, the layout of the island is shown as a 2D side-scroller. When exploring your resort area, it goes to first person, but that is the only time. You are given a virtual pet that grows based on how many gifts you give it and how many steps you've taken. There are many different forms it can take depending on how you've raised it. The dating sim aspect is back and a bit more fleshed out than the first game. All of the characters seem to have more backstory and you can get to know them very well as you play. There is also more of a romantic connection when you spend time with one of the girls. There's a shop where you can buy gifts for them along with a capsule machine on the beach. Another new set of collectibles are the Monokuma dolls, which can be found in various locations and are set up in your room. This game feels a lot bigger and there's a lot more to see. I was honestly envious of the island the class got to stay at, and initially it sounds amazing. Each person gets their own cabin, the store is nearby and fully stocked, the hotel restaurant has fresh meals for everyone every morning. I didn't understand why anyone would want to go back home at all. But of course, things don't stay peaceful for long. The deaths and motivations for killing in this game are more complex than the previous one. It has a stronger story, but at the same time, I thought the executions weren't as good. I like them brutal and disturbing, but that's because I'm weird. It was a bit easier for me to figure out what was going on than the first one, and I felt more emotionally attached to the characters from the beginning. The trials play out similarly, but there are a few key differences. Instead of Hangman's Gambit, you have to shoot and combine letters to spell out the word. I really did not like this because of how long it took and it was easy to accidentally destroy a letter you needed. Logic Dive had you on a snowboard of sorts and riding down a Rainbow Road-esque path where you needed to go on the side of whichever statement you agreed with. Again, this was tedious and frustrating for me because I could easily miss a jump and have to start over. They also changed up the non-stop debates, mostly with different controls. You could also choose to agree with someone's statement rather than disagree with them. Once you beat the story, there was another mode similar to the first where you gather items to build things and turn into Osami. You could also clean up your relationships with your classmates during this or get steps for your virtual pet. All in all, I think I liked this one more than the first due to how much variety there was. All of the locations were very unique, and at times, I felt the characters' hopelessness, especially in a certain area where they go without food. Obviously, you'd need to play the first one to really get the nods and Easter eggs in this one, but I think this one was an improvement.
Ouch! Disappear! Yahoo!
Thank you for watching! Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you want to see more content, check out my Redbubble and Patreon because they help me out a lot, leave a comment, any kind of comment, whatever you want to say. Thank you for watching!